Hey everybody, it's Dr. Nicole Bonner with Healing Hands and Manahawkin, and we are back and we're talking about chiropractic, stress, and emotional and mental illness. And now when most of you think of chiropractic, I'm sure that most of you think of a musculoskeletal treatment for neck and back pain. And I guess that's probably what most people think about, because when people get under regular chiropractic care, the inflammation in their spine and their nervous system has a tendency to go down, resolving things like neck and back pain. But did you know that chiropractic care has also been shown to also contribute to people's lives on an emotional level, on a mental illness level as well? Let me explain. Back in the 1930s, this is really fascinating. There was a sanitarium that was open in the 1930s for patients who had mental illness, and there was all kinds of mental illness, and it was extreme cases. These were the cases that were already being treated by medicine and medical doctors who have done everything to try to help these people, and they weren't able to help these people. So these people were kind of like the people that they gave up on, and they put them in this sanitarium. It was called Clearview Sanitarium, and this was a sanitarium where they for the most part, at least for like the first 20 or so years, they only took care of these people with regular chiropractic care. And they used, for the first 20-25 years, they used no drugs, no medicine at all. And what the protocol was for these people was very simple. Is every day their nervous systems would be checked with an instrument that was able to detect nerve interference. So for those of you that are not familiar with how your nervous system works, it works like this really quick. Your brain, of course, is the master organ of the body. It controls and it directs all the other organs. It controls all of the cellular function in your body. It controls the movement and strength in your arms and your legs. But your brain also controls and directs all the chemistry in your body. And in order for a cell to produce a chemical, the brain has to be able to tell it to do so. And it also has to be able to tell the cell not only to produce that chemical, but in what quantities to produce it, and when to produce it, and when to stop producing it, right? So the brain controls all of that. And the brain does that by sending electrical signals down your spinal cord, through the spine, down the spinal cord. So the electrical signals from the brain flow into the body, just like electricity would flow over and through an electrical wire. And then the electrical signals from the brain have to be able to exit the spine and get to all of the cells, tissues, and organs, telling them what to do, keeping them healthy, helping them to heal, helping them to regulate, helping them to function, all of that, including regulating and controlling and maintaining the chemistry of the body, which, as we all know, everything, how a person feels, how a person responds to their environment, their emotions, stress, it all relates to chemistry. In fact, the medical solution, what's the medical solution to mental illness? Well, of course, it's just more chemistry in hopes of trying to balance the internal chemistry in the body. But what we found out was that the brain is actually really good at doing that. It's one of its superpowers. It's really good at controlling the chemistry of the body. And so what was happening was every day these people were getting checked for interference in the nervous system, for misalignments in the spine that was choking off the energy flow that traveled through that part of the spinal cord or through that part of the nervous system. And they were getting adjusted. The spine was getting realigned. That was relaxing the nervous system. That was restoring nerve flow or nerve impulses from the brain into the body. And what was happening then was that the body actually responded. The chemistry in the body started to respond. And all of these people started to get better. In fact, the Clearview Sanitarium had an 80% success rate with their patients. Right? So these were like the patients that were like the worst of the worst. They were the ones that the MDs just said, we can't do anything more for these people. you have them. If you can help them, great, but we don't know what else to do with them. And at this sanitarium, the chiropractors had an 80% success rate with them. That even included people who were having major seizure disorders and things like this. So anyway, long story short, I want to be clear, chiropractic is not a treatment for mental illness, but it is a way to restore the connection between the brain and the body so that the body can naturally start doing what it's supposed to be doing. And that is keeping us in balance, adapting to our environment, and keeping peace and harmony in our body.